Hello, my name is Ruben Botello. I am with Paranormal Truth. I am the lead investigator, and I thought I would do this video to kind of get my reflections on the Samoa Mansion investigation. When I did do the investigation at the Samoa Mansion, when I was actually at the mansion, I did not feel we detected anything. We actually thought it was an unsuccessful investigation. We did some EVP sessions and we did a laser grid session. And on both of those sessions, we didn't detect anything while we were at the site. It was only after I analyzed the footage after the fact that I actually found all these responses to my questions in the EVP sessions, and also in the laser grid session, finding unexplained little blinks of light happening on non-reflective surfaces such as the brick wall. I noticed on a lot of the EVP recordings I had, there did not seem to be any clear responses if I played the recordings in real time. It was only when I had to slow down the audio file down to about 45% speed and reduce the noise in the file and amplify it, where I was able to make out some clear English words coming through, English responses to my questions. Can you say hello? Hello? Was that you, Andrew, who said that's me? So that was a very interesting discovery. It makes me think that perhaps the spirits are operating on a different dimension that's perhaps faster than ours. That's my theory anyway. But it's just interesting how you have to slow down the speech through the ghost box in order to understand their words. So yeah, that was probably the most interesting discovery of mine during the investigation. So all in all, I found this investigation very rewarding, and I look forward to future investigations. So that is my experience and reflections on the Samoa Mansion. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sher Kelly. I was born with the gift of mediumship. Can't say that I knew what to do with it when I was younger, but as I got older, I became a meditator and was able to hone my gift through meditation. And so when Ruben let me know that he was starting these paranormal investigations of so-called haunted places in the Eureka, California area, we thought it might be interesting for me to check in to see if any of the haunters wanted to speak with me, and then see if my information that I got in a meditative state dovetailed in any way with the information that Ruben and the rest of the team pick up with their equipment and their presence. So I went into a meditative state. I asked if anyone was available, willing to speak to me, and a lovely soul named Arthur Coleraine came forward, and we just chatted. Ruben has all the details of that recording. He was forthcoming and talked to me a little about the back in the day and his band of friends that he travels around with then and now. So yeah, I look forward to the rest of Ruben's work and hope to participate again in the future.
For privacy reasons, Miss X's identity will remain confidential. She is a yoga teacher who taught a yoga class in the living room of the Samoa Mansion. During this class, one of her students felt very uncomfortable. Both Miss X and her student sensed the spirit of a male authority figure hovering near the ceiling in a corner of the living room just behind the student. The student became so uncomfortable that she had to get up and move to the opposite side of the living room. Miss X sensed that the spirit followed the student to the other side of the room. The student continued to feel very uncomfortable and had to leave the class early. They both sensed that the spirit was not happy with what he was observing in the living room. Once the student left the class, Miss X sensed the spirit move back to the side of the living room that it was at before. The Samoa Mansion was built in 1908 as a home for Andrew Hammond, the owner of Vance Redwood Lumber Company, which later became Hammond Lumber Company, while he was in Samoa managing the company operations during the early 1900s. Andrew Hammond's main residence was in San Francisco, California. He would alternate spending a portion of the year in Samoa managing the lumber operations and the remaining parts of the year with his family back in their San Francisco mansion. Multiple witnesses have claimed that they have had experiences of a paranormal nature while in the Samoa Mansion. Humboldt Paranormal decided to take up the challenge to see if there's any validity to these claims. The spirit medium of Humboldt Paranormal, Sher Kelly, attempted to make contact with whatever spirit may be inhabiting the Samoa Mansion before the on-site investigation team went in and performed their part of the investigation. Sher's findings were not made known to the on-site team until they were finished with the on-site investigation. Sher and the on-site team then compared their findings after the fact to find any commonalities. Here are the results of Sher Kelly's meditation and spirit contact in the Samoa Mansion.
Good morning. This is December 12th, 2019. This is Sher Kelly. I'm in a meditative state, and I'm asking to check in with the Samoa Mansion, any ghostly inhabitants thereof.
According to Sher, Arthur Coleraine was the one who expressed the ch-ch-ch sound, not her, and she was not sure why at the time. After hearing the spirit box session in the last section of this video episode, Sher noticed that the sound of the spirit box perfectly coincided with how Arthur Coleraine imitated the ch-ch-ch sound, which is very interesting, as Sher never heard the sound of a spirit box in her life before the spirit meditation of hers. It is as if Arthur Coleraine was imitating the actual sound of the spirit box. Okay, so here we are at the site of our witness at the Samoa Mansion of Paranormal Activity.
on January 28, 2020. It is approximately 9:45 p.m. and we are facing the camera toward the exact location where our witness stated that paranormal activity has happened. This is the house, the Samoa mansion, that we are going to be doing a paranormal investigation on February 22nd, 2020. So here is my witness interview. Our witness chooses to remain anonymous, and so we are going to honor that. So I'm going to just call her Miss X. Okay, so Miss X, okay, wishes to remain anonymous. Okay, I'm going through a questionnaire here. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna say Miss X. Okay, and I have permission? I have permission to say your gender. Okay, so it's female. Our witness is female. Okay, email. So, are you willing to give me your current age? No. Okay. Let's see. Are you willing to give me the age at the time of your experience?
2 years prior.
2 years prior. Okay. 2 years prior. Okay. Let's see. Are you willing to tell me the date of your experience?
It was approximately late October, early November of 2017.
And do you remember the time of day of your experience?
About 6 o'clock.
6 p.m.?
6 p.m., probably between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m.
6 to 7 p.m. Okay. And what was the exact location of your experience?
It would be the right lower side of the room, but mostly up at the top of the room.
Toward the ceiling?
Toward the ceiling.
Okay. So were the cameras facing toward that door on the corner, toward the ceiling?
Yes.
So toward ceiling in the, I think we can call this the living room. Living room. Lower right corner wall. Lower right corner wall. In front of the door.
Mostly in front of the door, but was also sensed across the room on that side, on the whole right side. Concentrated by the wall, the right corner wall and up toward the ceiling.
Okay, so was the experience visual?
It was not.
No?
Not for me, no.
Okay. Was it audible?
It was not.
Okay. Was it olfactory? I don't even know what that means.
Smelling.
Smelling? Were you able to smell anything?
Mm-mm.
Thank you. Were you able? Was it sensed?
It was sensed.
Okay. Was it felt?
It was there was a change in energy, kind of an energy of the air, so yes.
So was it was it an apparition? Was it an apparition that you saw? It would make it visual, but
Right, I didn't see an apparition. I was teaching yoga in this room because we were temporarily displaced for some maintenance where I typically taught yoga at the women's club. So this was our substitute room.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my students felt it very profoundly, and she shifted her mat several times, just almost constantly. She was just constantly shifting and moving. She was very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And she was on the very right side of the room with her head toward the door.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of complained that she didn't like it here, and she moved to the opposite side of the room.
Interesting.
In front of the television.
In front of the TV.
in front of the TV.
Okay. Okay. So okay. So this was something she experienced, not what you experienced, but she was telling you what she was experiencing?
So we both sensed something, and it was enough for me to look up.
Mm-hmm.
So I sensed it was thick enough for me to look up to the ceiling. So I did look up several times, and I also noticed her being uncomfortable and moving around. And she would glance up, and we didn't say anything to each other at the time, but she eventually moved her mat to the spot in front of the television.
Mm-hmm.
And she stayed there for a little bit, but she was still uncomfortable, and so she left.
Mm-hmm.
And we were probably most of the way through our practice, and about 15 minutes later, we cleaned up and put the room back together.
Mm-hmm.
And left, and she was waiting outside, and she told me that she was very uncomfortable. She sensed something in the room that she felt was angry.
Mm-hmm.
And that she didn't like it and she didn't want to come back.
Okay. So perhaps the spirit was angry because you rearranged the room for the yoga practice, theoretically?
Theoretically, the feeling and the sense that I had was that it was a disapproving energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it just felt like somebody was, looking down on us and was very unhappy with the activities we were doing in the room. That's just what it felt like.
Interesting. Very. Did it attempt to make or make contact?
No.
No? Okay.
In this scene, we are using a laser grid GS1 device in the area where Miss X had her paranormal encounter. This device projects a laser grid onto a surface. If a spirit entity has enough physical volume, substance, and/or mass of any kind, they should theoretically bow the lines of the laser grid, making their physical dimensions and outline more visible to the naked eye. During this session, we did not detect any large physical anomalies passing through the laser grid projected on the wall, but we did detect unexplained little blinks and movements of light, mostly taking place on a low reflective surface, such as a brick wall. It is said that spirits can appear as orbs of light. Not sure if the physical dimensions of spirit orbs are being captured here through the laser grid or not. We will let you be the judge.
Can you say hello? Hello? Was that you, Andrew, who said that's me?